Revelations of a Delusional Knitter.
Hello, welcome to Revelations of a Delusional Knitter. This is episode 133. I'm Angela, your host. It is Thursday, March 17th, 2016. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm not wearing green, and I'm totally Irish. Updates and housekeeping. Welcome if you are new. If you are returning, I thank you as always. And either way, I hope you enjoy the podcast and continue to watch. The show is on iTunes, YouTube, the website delusionalknitter.com, and I also post an embedded video into the Ravelry board. There is a Ravelry board, Revelations of Delusional Knitter. Come on over there and join if you haven't already. And please feel free to leave comments on either of those platforms, iTunes, YouTube, or delusionalknitter.com, and Ravelry, of course. Ravelry is easier and quicker for me to respond to you. I don't always notice if there are comments on YouTube or the website, so Ravelry is the best place to do that. I'm also on Instagram, which is primarily knitting, cats, and food, because apparently that is my life in a nutshell. I just noticed that the other day. I'm like, it's all knitting, cats, and food. But that's okay. Let's see. Declaration. So what's been going on? Spanish. It was mentioned on the board, Nail Bunny. I'm sorry, I don't know your first name. I should have looked that up before I started jabbering over here. Mentioned an app called Duolingo, and it's more than just Spanish. There's plenty of languages on there, and it's the coolest little app because it works really well, like how children would actually learn a language. They have pictures of it, you know, different examples of the sentence structure, and a lot of repetition, so it's really easy to use, and it's an app on the phone, and each segment only takes a couple of minutes. And you're either translating it, typing it, or picking words, or picking, if there's pictures, there's like 4 pictures, and it says, you know, which one's the apple. Obviously there's a picture of an apple, so it's easy, but it's a good way to relate the words to the pictures and, you know, remember them a little bit better. I usually don't have a ton of trouble with that. I have one of those brains where if you tell me, you know, caballo is horse, well, caballo is horse. I don't need, that's what it is. That's how my brain works. Like, you told me that's what the word was. I don't need, you know, mnemonics and things like that. I don't need them, but they're certainly helpful and speed it along a lot quicker. But so that's really cool, and I'm enjoying that little app. And I'm still also doing it on the Audible thing. But the Audible thing, like I said, it's half an hour a section, which isn't that big of a deal, but if you don't have time to do it, the Duolingo app is, like I said, quick. You can do it while you're waiting in line somewhere. You can do it at work if you have a little break, something like that. So it's really cool. The farmer's market. We went to the farmer's market again with our 2 friends that we always go with, and they also were there with one of their other friends, and she was funny. She cracked us up. She had the same sense of humor we did. Like, for example, I didn't realize who she was. We were standing in line for food, and she said something about, oh, I usually never have Saturdays off, and I said, oh, where do you work? And she said, oh, the store, and she pointed out our friend Scott. And I was like, oh, you work there too? And she was like, yeah, but not in the same store anymore. I work at a different store now. And so it's the same company, but different store. And Scott said, oh yeah, she hired me. And so I leaned over to her in line and I said, were you filling a quota? Did you think he was mentally handicapped? And she laughed. So she had, she had the same sense of humor as us. And she's Asian. And somehow while we're eating our pizza, we got on the subject of Maine, like what Maine meant, which I guess means noodles in Chinese. And she had said that to Scott, and Scott was like, well, why should I believe you? And I'm like, lo mein, chow mein, they all have noodles in them. And she's like, yeah, because that's the Chinese word for noodle. And Scott was like, well, why should I believe you? Because she speaks Chinese. But he's, you know, it's the way we joke. So it was just funny, and we had a really good time with her. She cracked us up. So that was fun. But also at the farmer's market, well, I guess I'll save that for testaments because they're items that I got at the farmer's market. I actually got some Fibery items this time. So that was cool. And there was a ton of stuff there. Again, I brought my camera and totally forgot to take any pictures. I feel kind of weird about taking pictures of boots and stuff like that. Like, that's their business and their thing. I don't know if maybe they don't care because you're advertising for them. I don't know, but I always forget to pull my camera out. Plus, we were having a really good time. The pizza we got, though, was awesome. We've seen it there several times, and I thought Scott and Beth had gotten some before, but I guess they had just mentioned they'd like to. So this time we were there, like, the whole time. We were later, couldn't find a parking space. I had to park at CVS next door. Because I drove around, I don't know how many times. And at one point, so, and this is like, how do I put this? Almost like a, they don't have like a paved parking lot. It's like dirt or gravel or like you're in a field kind of parking lot. And there's so many cars there. There were a couple of spaces my husband pointed out, and I'm like, I'm in my truck. We're not going to fit there. I'm like, we can pull in, but you're not going to be able to open your door. At one point, and it's not like level. It's like turns, and you try not to hit cars, and you try not to hit people walking and things like that, so it's crazy. I had pulled out, and two ladies got into a Suburban. I can clearly fit into the same space as a Suburban, right? I must have sat there for 5 minutes looking at them. And they're on their phones, and they're doing stuff. And I said, well, maybe they're waiting for somebody else, and maybe they're not ready to leave. And I looked at my husband, and I said, so help me God, if this woman pulls out right behind me, I will park this truck and get out and punch her. I swear to God. Because we had already been driving around for like half an hour. Well, luckily, there was a loophole, because she pulled out one car behind me. I was so mad. And by the time I made it back around, nope, spot was taken by somebody else. This little tiny compact car that could have fit like 5 of them in there, but they parked all crooked, so I couldn't get in. So I said, forget it, and I went and I parked at CVS, which I usually don't like doing, but as I've said before, I work for a police department, and I know the procedure for towing cars. I'm not going to get towed in 3 hours. It's just not going to happen, so whatever, you know? Plus, we did, after we left, we went into CVS and made a purchase or two since we used their parking lot for a couple hours, so that worked out. But, oh, it's so crazy parking there. It's absolutely insane. And it's so busy. People must, well, we drive an hour to go there, so people must come from everywhere to go there. And I guess the Fiber Days are always a lot busier because all of us crazy knitting and spinning people go. But, yeah, it was fun. And I did get a couple of things, like I said. I had a cannoli. I've gotten the cannolis there before, the lady that makes them. They're absolutely delicious. They're fantastic. They're not super sweet, but she does dip them in chocolate chips too if you want. So, but the ricotta mixture in the cannolis, you know, sometimes if you get them at the store and they're made at some, you know, big factory type of bakery, they're really sickeningly sweet. Hers are clearly, well, they are homemade, but they just have that homemade, you know, not super sweet, just delicious, creamy, yummy goodness taste. So those are always good, too. And it's funny, too, because she's like, do you want a to-go box? And I'm like, oh, no, I'm going to eat it while it'll be gone by the time I get to boost out. So, yeah. Let's see. Ask away. We had another question on the board, and this was from Sue, and she is a wheel spinner, but she asked my opinion on a good beginning spindle for somebody. So my personal opinion, and I'll tell you why, and there's a couple of actual valid reasons I think this, but it is my favorite spindle is the Turkish. And if you want to start out, I don't know if Knit Pick still has one, but it's a pretty large one, but it's inexpensive. I did go look up somebody I was going to suggest, which I still suggest because he has really good spindles, and they are less expensive than the other ones I'm going to show you, is Snyder spindles, and they're really good quality. When I purchased these from him, I believe they were $15 and $20, but I just looked at his site, and it looks like his prices have gone up to like $20 and $30. However, that being said, I believed after he did many spindles, he now uses more exotic woods, and he's probably gotten a little bit better at it. Even though his older spindles were perfectly good quality, they're probably a little bit better now. So, just so you know that. And I hope that wasn't my camera shutting off, but something just made a little funky noise, and I don't have my phone in here, so I don't know what that was. I wonder if it was my tablet. I'm hoping that's my tablet, and I don't just keep talking for half an hour while the camera's not recording. I can't even tell if it's recording. It'd be nice if I could, wouldn't it? Okay, so that being said, this is a Turkish spindle, and there's several reasons why I like them, like I said. The first being that you can store it like this. So you can store it flat and not worry about warping the shaft, because when you have the arm set on there, it prevents the shaft from leaning against anything and warping it. The second reason is that well, first of all, you're less likely to break it also if you can store them like that. When you wind a Turkish spindle, you always go over 2 under 1. So you go over 2 arms under 1 arm. And it's my opinion that it's really hard to unbalance the spindle because you're always winding it the same way. You're always putting the same amount of fiber on it. So regardless, even if your cup is messy, meaning it's not all lined up and pretty, like this. So this is a very neatly wound cup where you can see all the singles are wound up against each other. Even if you haphazardly do it, you're still technically winding over 2 under 1 all the time. So you're putting the same amount of fiber on there. When you wind a top whorl or bottom whorl spindle, it's up to you to balance the cup. And typically, let's say this was a top whorl, you'd start here and you'd kind of wind it into a cone shape. Or, I'm sorry, there's fiber flying all over the place now. Or you'd do like a football, so it would be heavier in the middle. It's very easy to unbalance the spindle if you don't wind it correctly. And then it starts wobbling, and it goes slower, or it just does all kinds of funky things. It's very hard to unbalance these. Then, not that there's not beautiful top whorl, bottom whorl spindles. I just prefer the look of the Turkish spindles. People start doing really cool things with them. So, like, Snyder started doing cutouts. So I have a cat one from him. And then there's Threads Through Time. It's always one of my favorites, and they color the wood. So they come in all these awesome colors, and I have several of these. Then there's sizes. You can also have many different sizes of top whorl spindles, but I think you can fit more fiber on the smaller Turkishes than you can on the small top whorl, because the small top whorl you only have the shaft. So if the shaft is only this big and the whorl is only this big, you can only fit that much fiber on before it will no longer continue to stay on. Where these ones, you can wind a crazy amount of fiber on them. This one, I could still wind a ton of fiber on it. It would probably be very similar to that other cup I just showed you, which is huge. That's like 2 ounces of fiber. And then, so those were Threads Through Time. I don't think I showed the little mini cobalt. And blue is not usually my color, but cobalt, I really like cobalt blue. Then I had some Subterranean Woodworks, which are also dyed. And again, they're the nice, I prefer just the look of the pointier shaft and the finials, I think they're called. And then Buckeye is another one with dyed wood, but they do one other step to their treatment of their wood. I forget what it's called. It's like pressurized and something, but that's what Buckeye looks like. So, and these come in a variety of colors as well. I have a green one, I have like a marbly one. And there's so many options. They're so gorgeous. But like I said, I believe, in my personal opinion, because of the way you wind the cup, and then it's very hard to unbalance it, and therefore it won't start spinning slower or wobble or do all kinds of funky things on you. And plus, once you're done, you also don't need any other tools to ply it or finish the yarn. If you wind a cup onto a top whorl spindle, you have to get it off before you can do anything else with it. You can ply from it, but you're going to need something for it to sit in so that it can spin, so that the yarn can come off of it. You don't need any other things with the Turkish. You just pull the cup off, and it's a center pole ball, technically, so then you can just ply from 2 of those. You know, if you just need to stick them in something so they don't get all tangled together. You can even use a yarn bowl. Anything with holes so that the 2 balls won't start wrapping all over each other. And that's it, you're done. You don't need any other tools, you don't have to unwind it. Because sometimes, too, I don't like with the top whorls, I don't have like a Kate where they can spin. If you put them in a box or something, they still like bang around and flop around a lot, and I'm always afraid I'm going to break them. And if you use something else to do them, like you can put holes in like a shoebox or something, but I recommend you line it with felt, because even that, the cardboard, can dig into the shaft while it's spinning on there. Same thing with plastic. You can get like a plastic little basket with the holes in it, but plastic's even harder than cardboard, so that's really going to dig into your shaft if it's rotating in there. But with the Turkish, you don't have to worry about that at all. You have a center pole ball when you're done. So yeah, that's my recommendation, and that's why. I think those are very valid reasons. And I also have a tutorial on spinning on the Turkish spindle that I did a long, long time ago, but people like it, and it's pretty in-depth, so you can also check that out. I'll probably link it in here so people can find it again easily because it's been up for a long time. And that's that. I hope that answered your question. If you have any more, just ask on the thread and I'll answer them for you. Pick a whip. So I had posted a poll on the board. I mentioned I have a couple of old whips I'd really like to finish up and not have whips hanging around for years. It looks like right now the February lady sweater is in the running, which is absolutely fine with me because I think I started that in 2010. It also looks like I think bow ties are cool and Icarus are right behind there, which is interesting because if Icarus wins over bow ties, the needles are on bow ties. I would have to take the needles out, I guess, because I don't have another set of 3 US that's that long. So we'll see what happens with that. But I will leave that thread open, that poll, until like the end of the month because then I was going to finish that whip in April, whichever one you guys pick. What else has been going on? Oh, I did get my hair done again yesterday and she put way more purple in it. It's fabulous. Again, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. And plus, it's only been since yesterday, so it's pretty dark right now. It rinses out after a while, but also, you can probably see it there. It's such a fabulous purple color. She recommends you wash your hair in cool water. Because if you're washing it with hot, you're opening up the cuticle in the hair and then all the dye is leaching out. I did this morning wash my hair and I turned the shower way down. So I was like hopping around in the shower trying to wash my hair as fast as possible. Because I take super hot showers. So once I washed my hair and conditioned it and rinsed it out, then I jacked the water way back up and I just didn't put my hair under it and it was fine. Because the same amount came out as did when I had it done previously, and there's way more purple in there right now, so the cool water definitely makes a huge difference. And I have white towels, and my towel looked like it did after like the 6th time I washed it the last time, and this was the first time. So the cool water makes a humongous difference. And fortunately, I like really hot showers, so that kind of sucks. At least though now it's not winter anymore, so I can probably deal with it over the summer. I think next winter I might even start washing my hair in the sink. Because we have a spray hose thing in the kitchen sink, and we have a huge kitchen sink, and then showering after that from now on, because I can't stand the cold shower. I just can't do it. When it's 90 out, maybe that will be fine, but like the water was cold enough that the heat from my head was warming up the water as it rinsed down my head. That's how cool water. Yeah, no, I don't like it. But I want to keep the purple, obviously, so we'll see how that goes. It didn't get too bad. It was only like the last 2 weeks that it got really, really light at the ends, and but it was still purple and, you know, the same color. It just kept getting lighter and lighter, so it's pretty cool. Revelations. All right. So bow ties are cool. I haven't touched. Moab. I haven't touched. I'm pretty much waiting. Those are on the poll, so I'm kind of waiting on those anyway to see which one I'm going to finish. Stripy Socks. I did not touch those either. Sock Madness. What I have been knitting. By the way, Nico is screeching outside my room right now because I'm ignoring him, so if you hear that, he's fine. He just has a big mouth. Sock Madness. So the first, I don't even know what it's called. The first round, words, is done. And that was like the qualifying round. So if you finished both of your socks in 2 weeks, then you get put on a team. If you made a reasonable effort, like I said before, then you're eligible to continue to get the patterns for the rest of Sock Madness. You're just not going to be on a team. However, there is a team cheerleader. You can knit along with them and everybody else. You just don't qualify for prizes or the competition or moving on to next rounds. So I am on team cheerleader because I did make it that far. And this was the stripe sock, I think is what it was called. So I have my one sock done. And this was an interesting sock. It was Personal Footprints Heel by Kat Bordy, then this slip stitch pattern, then the Sweet Tomato Heel by Kat Bordy, and then the rest of the slip stitch pattern. Now this looks pretty baggy on the sock blocker, but it's not that bad on my foot. I did notice though, it's just a lot of people it happens to look like that. This third wedge is just a little too much if you don't have a really wide heel, deep heel. But this, it fits fine. I'm just hoping it won't wear out right there. But other than that, it does fit pretty well, so I am happy with it. So I could do the Sweet Tomato Heel again if I wanted and just make this last wedge not so deep, and it would be fine. But for the purposes of sock madness, in order for everybody to be equal, you have to knit it to pattern, and you have to do as many rows as everybody else so that it's fair. So that's that sock, and I do like it a lot, and I like my colors a lot. And I did start the second sock, and that's how far I got before I might have done a couple more rows, but that's pretty much what my entry looked like for my reasonable effort, so not too bad. But, so that will be fun, and I'm fine with that because that's like a breakneck speed. I can knit pretty fast, but knitting socks, one pair every 2 weeks it goes through like May. That's just too much for me. Maybe I'll try next year, because the thing is, you just move on to a round, move on until you get disqualified, and then you're done, and you're almost like where I am now on Team Cheerleader, so that's cool, but that's a little too crazy for me right now. So I'm just happy to be on Team Cheerleader. I'll get the rest of the patterns if I want to knit them, and I can knit along with the group, and that'll be fun. So that's pretty much all I've been working on for Revelations. And string theory, I don't think I've even touched the road bug since I last recorded. I really don't. And I haven't spun on any spindles either. So I haven't been doing any spinning. Although in my defense, I was really focused on those socks for the Sock Madness trial, so that's that. Let's see, scrolls. I am not going to have a book review in this episode. I do have a book to review, but I don't think I have time today to do it. Excuse me. I'm going to make boiled dinner today, because I'm super Irish, so we are going to have corned beef and cabbage and carrots and potatoes, because it's St. Patrick's Day and I'm off work, so that's what we're going to do. So I do have to do that. Not that it matters. It is boiled dinner, which means you put everything in a pot and turn it and then walk away. So it's not really a huge deal, but I have other things to do around the house too. So I'll probably skip a book review for this episode. Let's see. And the timer's running down, so I should probably pause here and come back and then finish the rest of the show. Alright, on to Testament. So the goodies I've gotten. So at the farmer's market, we walked around, we looked at a bunch of stuff. I'm really good now about not buying. I just don't need it. Unless it's really cool or whatever. It's just not necessary. I have so much stash. But I saw this fiber, and we walked by it. I hope the camera's picking it up right, because I hope the camera's not picking up as blue. It is super purple. It is actually pretty much the color that my hair is purple. It's awesome. It is so cool. And when we had walked by it, Beth said, "Ooh, look at that purple." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's nice." And then we kept walking, and then I stopped, and I turned, and I looked back. And I grabbed the back of Beth's shirt, and I said, we need to go back. I need to get some. So I don't even know what it is. I think it might be merino. I don't even know if it was labeled. I was more concerned with the purple. And they just had bags, big bags of it. You could pick out bags and fill a little bag, and it went by weight. It was $4 an ounce, so I got, this happens to be 3 ounces, so I thought that was fine. And I might just comb it up. I might even spin it on a spindle. I have no idea. It was just super purple, so I loved it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like the same purple that's in my hair, to be honest with you. Pretty much. Pretty darn close. So yeah, the purple that you cannot see in my hair, because I don't think the camera picks it up very well. It looks like this. If this doesn't look blue to you. I don't know. I'll see later. So I grabbed 3 ounces of that. And then we went by the Kangaroo Dyer, which is Gail Callahan. We went by her booth, and she had lovely colored yarns, and she said, "Oh, can I show you this color thing?" So it's this cool color grid thing, and it's not like a traditional color wheel. It's got like the different hues and everything, and then when you put this rips off. I haven't ripped it off yet. These holes go, so it shows all the different ones all around it, and then this slash here will show like a complementary contrasting color that'll really make it pop. So I was like, oh, that's cool, and it was only $8, so I was like, yeah, I'll take one of those. And while we were standing in line for the pizza again, I was standing here, you know, and I'm looking at it, and I look at the back, and I read it, and I'm like, Gail Callahan. And there's a book, Hand Dyeing Yarn and Fleece, and I'm looking at it, and I look at the picture of her. I look at Beth, and I go, Beth, I think we just met this woman. I have one of her books at home. I was like, I didn't even realize that's who I was talking to. So, duh. So I think I'll look next time we go to the farmer's market and see if she's there. I think she's been there before, and I never put two and two together. And next time I think I'll bring my book and ask her to sign it. But it dawned on me, and I was like, oh my god, I think we just met her. Yeah. Hello. So the other thing I got, he posted on Instagram, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, I need it. Leading Men Fiber Arts, Steve from Dramatic Knits, neon pencil. Look at that. Is that not fabulous? I'm not usually a big pink and yellow person, but I am totally the neon. Green, pink, yellow, the neon colors, orange, whatever. I love, so that is just super cool. And that's on their Showstopper base, their fingering weight, 75% superwash, 25% nylon. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to make with this. None at all, but I had to have it. So that was their March colorway. And I do have one other little thing, which I didn't buy, but we're so stupid sometimes. Christmas. We had a Christmas bag, set off to the side in the kitchen for the longest time, that I knew didn't have anything in, didn't have food or anything in it. So, and it was stuff from my mom. She got me, asked for a jewelry cleaner, the Sonic one. They had that at the jewelry store where I bring my ring. And it does a really good job, much better than the dip tray thing. So that was in it and stuff. And as I was pulling it out to put it away the other day when I was cleaning the house, and I was like, "What is this?" I totally forgot. She got me this really cool candle for my yarn room with the sheep in it, and it's got it's not a real candle, so it'll never melt away. It's just got the the fake light in it. So that's so cute though with the little sheep on it. I totally forgot about it. Duh. Yeah. Maybe this episode should be brain fart, because that's what I've been doing lately. Alright, that's it for Testaments, Intentions, Delusional Knit Designs. I still have to finish Beth's mitts. I have not finished the second mitt yet, and then that will be up for test knitting. I also have a couple of ideas, excuse me, for sock pattern, 2-color colorwork sock, and a hat pattern too. So I was hoping to get those done soon. Mirabelle, the knit along, went very well. It kind of died off there towards the end, but a lot of people get those kits from Becky, and they came out awesome. And that one ends on the 20th, so if you are knitting a Mirabelle shawl and you want it to be eligible for the prize drawing, make sure you get your post of your finished shawl in there by the 20th. And Hearsay. Hogwarts at Ravelry. The new rotation starts the 21st, so right now we're on the break week. And I'm super excited because I was asked to do a study hall, which is a non-point generating thread, which means I don't have to grade anything. I just have to answer questions and help people out, and it's on beading. So I had done the peacock shawl, and I entered that, and then one of the moderators said, oh, we've always wanted to do a beading study hall. Are you interested in doing that? So that's cool, and that should be fun. Sock Madness I already talked about. Epic Knit Along 2016 on my group is still going. That's the point-based one where you can do your epic projects, and I've started to ask for some prizes, so I hope to hear back from people soon and have some prizes for this quarter. I don't have any new podcasts to mention. I do have some Ravelry patterns for you. And I have a tablet that has batteries. So that's fun. Okay, the first one is Kaya May by Jamie Hoffman, and that is free. Uses worsted weight yarn. It's this really cool hat pattern. Oh, the tablet is ignoring me again. I really think it's because my fingers are so cold all the time, it doesn't register. And it utilizes a variegated yarn for the top, and then you can see how it pops like little sprinkles once it gets lower. So it's really cool. I like that one a lot. And I don't know, so it is a child size, but it's easy to modify for an adult. And she actually, I think, gives you instructions on how to do that. But let me show you. There was one picture, there it is, of the crown of that one I just showed you. Really cool. That's a really cool one. That would be a great use, too, I bet, of some leftover yarns if you had enough of the 2 colors to make that. The other one I have is the Immersion Cardigan by Jennifer Beaumont. It's $7. And this one's really, I really think I have to make this one. It calls for fingering weight yarn. So the purpose of it is to use up a gradient kit, but obviously you could just use whatever colors you wanted. But this one gradiates through purples. That's also probably why I really like it, right? I do really like the sweater, and it's my kind of sweater. It's like jeans and a t-shirt sweater. But it's really cool, and it's top down and it's seamless, and it uses the contiguous sleeve method, so there's no seaming involved, so I like that. And the last one I have is Missy C by Jenny Penny. Jenny Penny sounds familiar, like I've shown her patterns before. The original is not in a US denomination, so it comes out to $5.02 US. It's a colorwork knit pattern using fingering weight yarn, and it is amazing. So it's a cat. Each mitt has half the cat's face on it, so when you put them together, you have the cat. It's really cool, and I love the colors there, how they pop. Let me see if they have, I don't think, oh, here's one that's got all of them. And the thumbs are little, like, they look like little fish bones on the thumbs. That is really cool. I think I need that pattern, by the way, because that is absolutely fabulous. I'm not huge on the colorwork mittens, but that thing's really cool. I love looking at them. What I mean by I'm not huge on them is I don't really like knitting them, but I think they're fabulous and I love looking at them. Like, I can't think of her name now. It's Billie Jane. Her mitts are awesome. Bullet journal. It's pretty much the same. I have been using it. I have been doing well. I haven't been doing a ton more of hand lettering. That kind of died away. I was doing good there for a little while, and then I got off of it. But my tracker's going very well, as you can see. I've been filling out my tracker, which means I'm doing things, so that's awesome. I had to use up more of that time that I had carried over from last year, the 2 weeks of vacation time that I had carried over, so I've been off for this is the 6th day. Today and yesterday were my usual 2 days off, but I took 4 vacation days, so I've been cleaning up the house a lot. I mopped the floors, which haven't been done in forever, and we have a dirt driveway, so they were disgusting. And just general picking up, decluttering, getting rid of stuff, putting stuff in the basement and putting stuff in the attic, kind of, you know, like, why is this on the counter? This needs a home, or it needs to go in the trash, kind of thing, you know? Like that, like I found the candle that was in a Christmas bag that's been sitting on my kitchen floor since Christmas. Stuff like that. So I've been cleaning up the house, and it's been okay weather. A couple of days were really rainy and a little chilly, but today the sun came out. It's chilly, but it's enough that you can open windows and get some fresh air in the house, so I've also been doing that. A couple of days opening up the windows and airing out the house. Oh, I love it. I love it. I can't stand winter and being all closed up, and it's gross, and we have 3 cats and a dirt driveway, so the house gets really nasty. There's fur everywhere. There's fur flying all over the place. And yeah, so that's what I've been doing. But the bullet journal helps with that because I can make a list of things to do and then check them off throughout the day. Delusional Jabber. I have not been doing any other arts and crafts stuff. No cross stitch, no nothing. Yeah, no. Reading. I'm still in the Walking Dead comics. I got some more of those done. I finished Run by Blake Crouch, and it was very good. People either seem to love that book or hate it. I thought it was really good. I just looked at it like a short story. Like, the people that didn't like it didn't... If you read the story or the synopsis, the people who didn't like it for what it was. So their argument for why they hated it, you were like, but that's what it is. Like, then you don't like shorter stories, that's all it is. Like, so I don't know. I liked it, and it was a quick read, and it was very engaging, and it was almost like that. You can't put it down because you want to know what happens kind of thing. Like, people who didn't like it complained that there was no character development. It was the equivalent of a movie, I would say. Like, how much do you know about a character in a movie? You're only with them for 2 hours kind of thing, you know? I'm still on Tattered Remains. That's the 9th Zombie Fallout book, and I finished the first section of the Audible one, so I just have the second half left. Ender's Game, I haven't listened to anymore. It's still just sitting there. I will get back to it, though. It's a good story. TV, Walking Dead, caught up on, of course. Big Bang Theory, Mom, Lucifer, I said I really liked. That one's a good one. Last Man on Earth started again, so I think I'm caught up on that one. Bob's Burgers, the last few episodes were really good. People vs. O.J. Simpson, also caught up on. That's another one. The last episode, if you watched that one, had to do with the glove. And I'm really curious if that stuff really happened or not. I know the glove did. It was on TV. But I mean, in the show, they have the backstory with, like, the prosecution and the defense, and their, like, arguments and talking about it and stuff like that. Now, unless you were there, I don't know if that really happened. I don't know if they made that up for the TV, their conversations, or if those were the real conversations they had. I don't know. But it's interesting. And also, since I've been off, first of all, I played a video game yesterday, finally. Although I laughed when my husband came home because I was playing it. And he was like, oh, good. Because I asked him to set up the PlayStation 3 in the bedroom so that I could play. He has a game room, but I don't like sitting in there. No offense. I just don't, it's just not, I don't like his chair. I don't like sitting in there. The cats aren't in there. I don't like letting the cats in there because they start knocking his stuff over and getting all into things. So I said, are you using that very much? And he said, no. I said, can you put it in the bedroom, please, so I can play my games? And he said, sure. So he hooked it up yesterday morning. So yesterday afternoon, I was puttering around cleaning and stuff, and I was like, you should really go play a game. Especially since he set it up right after you asked him to. So I did. Plus it was nice and sunny, and I had the windows open, and I was sitting on the bed. It was great. So, however, since I haven't played in so long, and I'm really good at those, like, straight shot games, you know, like Super Mario Brothers, where it's linear, it's 2D. These, like, open world, run anywhere, look anywhere games. My husband came home and I'm laughing and he's like, what? And I was like, if you could see my character from far away, I'm pretty sure it would look like somebody running for their life while also having a seizure. I don't know which way I'm going. I get all turned around. I can't tell which way I'm facing. It's just all over the place. And thank God in the beginning there's a guy, a computer guy, generated guy, that you follow out of this place you're trying to get out of. Because if he wasn't there, I'd still be in there. I would still be stuck up against a wall, walking into the wall. It's terrible. It's terrible. So, yeah, I gotta play more. I know I used to play before, and I was doing fine. So it's just been, I don't have the hand-eye coordination that I did before, because that was awful. It was really awful. And I'm one of those people, when I used to play them, I used to be better. But, like I said, now it's one of those, if I'm fighting, like if I'm, you know, punching something or hitting something with a sword or stab, whatever, the only reason I'm still alive is because it's just chance of the frantic button mashing that's getting me out of this duel. Because it's certainly not skill at all, let me tell you. But yeah, I was playing Skyrim. I get Skyrim and Dragon Age mixed up all the time. Like the actual games. Like I'll think of something and I'll be like, why is that not? Oh yeah, that's the other game. So I started out with Skyrim, so, but I have a couple other ones that I used to play before, but I wanted to get back into that, because it's fun, and it's nice, and it's relaxing, and, you know, you can just go into this other, and a lot of the newer ones, they have really nice geography and scenery, and, you know, it's fun. It's just fun. It's like a book. It's like a book that you can walk through yourself. That's how I think of video games. Also, since I've been off, I've been watching some movies, because that's my other most favorite thing to do. So, yesterday, I think it was... What did I watch the other day, though? Because the other day I was sitting on the couch all day. I don't know, I don't remember. Anyway, some of the ones that stuck out to me, Pixels, I watched. That was fabulous. Speaking of video games, that was really good. It was really well done, and it was really good. I liked it a lot. R.I.P.D., which was Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds. And so R.I.P.D. is Ryan Reynolds dies, and he was a cop. And R.I.P.D. is the department that, Rest in Peace department, they go after ghosts that don't want to cross over and go where they're supposed to go, so they're still on Earth. Very much reminded me of Men in Black. So if you like Men in Black, you'll really like R.I.P.D. And Megamind, which is one of the animated kids ones, that was Will Ferrell, and Brad Pitt was the other guy. But that one was really cute and really good, and I liked that one a lot. And I think that's all I watched. I can't think of any other... I did watch some other movies, but I can't think of what they were. They must have been fabulous. I think that's it for this episode. I don't think I have anything else for you. I always feel like I'm forgetting something. But I did go through my show notes today. So, yeah, I'm going to finish the socks and best mitts so we can test knit them. And then you will tell me what you want me to finish in April. And so go on over to that poll and finish that. And then the Ask Away thread, if you have any questions, like Sue had a great one about spindles. go ahead and pop over there and I will answer it on the next episode, depending on how many questions there are, of course. I only have so much time, but keep them coming because I'll just go through them. And I think that's it. So I hope you are enjoying yourself and knitting and spinning, and I hope you have good weather. We had the weirdest winter ever, right? And I'm going to go make boiled dinner and sweep my somewhat clean floors that are no longer clean. They're mopped, but now they have dirt from the driveway and all kinds of other stuff on them. And do some other chores around the house, and I think that's it. So thank you for joining me. Happy knitting and spinning.